Hello everyone, I am Wendy and I am here for round 2 to make a second point today. So I want to focus for this video on the first son that Abram had, okay, Abraham. His name is Ishmael or Yishmael, which is my pronunciation. Anyway, this guy, God had made the promise that he was going to make Abraham, or Abram at the time, a mighty nation, and Sarah had been barren. They're in their 80s, and she wasn't in her 80s. She's quite a bit younger than Abraham, but Abraham was in his 80s, and she got restless, and she's like, I've been barren all these years. Why don't you come unto my handmaid? Now, her handmaid was one of the servants that came from when they were down in Egypt, and they were given all those possessions of servants and livestock and different things. And not in the traditional Bible, but in other books, apocrypha books, Hagar is actually a princess of the king of Egypt. All right. Now, anyway, I'm not going to go into it just yet. They weren't really called pharaohs back then, okay, during that particular time in Egypt. So that happens later. Anyway, so she was actually a princess of the leader of Mitzrajim, Egypt. And Sarah said, hey, go unto her, because she was royalty. So why not? We're just sojourners. We don't even have. Anyway, she was a good bet, right? She's like, go into her. So Abraham took her up on it, and they had Ishmael. Later in life, during the pregnancy, this handmaid started getting a little bit arrogant towards Sarah and making Sarah jealous, and so she's like, "Hey, you're just a surrogate mother. Who the heck do you think you are?" So it aggravated Sarah, and there was some rivalry there. All right, and she goes and she complains to Abraham. Abraham says, "Hey, I don't got no love for this girl. You do with her what you want." And she was rough on her. And then so Hagar, pregnant, ran away. And an angel of the Lord came to her and said that God was going to make her son a mighty nation. Okay? So at this time, they kind of still thought it was going to be, he was going to inherit the promises that God had given to Abraham, but that wasn't the case. However, regardless, that's where the promise originally came to Hagar. She knew that her son was going to become someone special. She ended up going back, and the son was born, Ishmael, all right, Yishmael, and then later, and I'm just going to whip through his life real quick because that's what I want to focus on. When he was 13, he was circumcised. That's when God gave the decree about circumcision. And so he was circumcised at age 13 with his dad. And it doesn't talk about this in the canonical Bible, but in other books that have been removed, he was amongst those who went when Isaac was going to be sacrificed. He was there. Now, he didn't go to the mountain. He was there for the trip along the way. And then Abraham left those who traveled with him behind and went on up to the mountain. But he was there. Okay? And anyway, let me backtrack. So after Isaac was born, Ishmael, there was some rivalry there. And Sarah was still jealous of this kid and didn't like how he was aggressive towards his little brother, his half brother, and so she had him kicked out. Now at this time, he was not a baby. Okay, he was a lad. He was a young man. When it says that Hagar carried him on the shoulders, well, that was just the burden. Okay, she didn't carry some teenager on her shoulders. But when they got kicked out. However, he did, and years later, he did go on to become a mighty nation. It wasn't easy for him because his first wife came from Egypt, and you're not going to find this in the regular Bible, but his first wife came from Egypt, and but they settled still in the land of Canaan. Okay, they didn't go back to Egypt, and he became a mighty hunter. Okay, and he used to love to go off hunting, and his wife wasn't a very good wife, this Egyptian lady. One day Abraham went to go check on his son, and he came across their encampment, and Ishmael was off hunting, and he came across this wife and the children, and she wasn't very polite to him, didn't offer him a drink of water, food, nothing. And anyway, Abraham gave her a message to share with her husband, when he came back from the hunt. And basically it was a coded message for get rid of this woman, she sucks. So anyway, Ishmael did get rid of that first wife, and then married another woman, and had children by that second woman as well. Okay, in the end, he did become a nation. He had 12 sons, and one daughter that is mentioned in the Bible. Okay, he may have had other daughters, but they only mentioned one, and the reason for that is because 12, the number 12 men with one woman symbolizes a nation. All right, that's what it symbolizes. You need that one woman, and we see this in the book of Exodus, when the 12 tribes, when the 12 tribes are encircled in the wilderness in their encampment, and then the tribe of Levi is joined to God. All right, symbolizes being joined to God. That represented the feminine nature of that nation. Okay, so it's all symbolic. One fun fact that I would like to share about Ishmael is that when he was on the hunt one day, he ran across Nimrod, and he shot and killed him. Okay, so that prophecy that Abraham was going to destroy Nimrod actually came to pass. So, because it was the seed of Abraham that actually did that. All right. So, anyway, yeah, I guess I'll finish it there.